Hey folks, Cody with Focal Craft. Today I'm trying to figure out how to make this Cactus V6II flash transceiver work with the Fujifilm X-T10. We're using the Cactus RF60 flash unit. This one's been around a little while. This one's new, but it's not a new product from Cactus Imaging. So I'm trying to get this to work with this, but in a high-speed sync capacity. Cactus Imaging has said that this new V6II will bring high-speed sync capabilities to the Fujifilm X-T10 and X-T1 and X Pro 1, the Fuji X cameras that don't actually support high-speed sync. So it's pretty exciting to be able to have high-speed sync in these little mirrorless cameras. But we're having some problems, so let's kind of get into it. I'm also one of the really neat things about this Cactus V6II is that it is a cross-brand transceiver. Cactus Imaging claims that this transceiver will high-speed sync with not only the Nikon D800 and cameras like it, but also with the Fuji X-T10. So let's first talk about how it high-speed syncs with the Nikon D800. So this is actually my second unit that I've gotten from Cactus. The first V6II I had, I don't remember exactly which firmware it came with, but we had upgraded the firmware several times trying to get it to achieve high-speed sync with both the D800 and the X-T10, and couldn't get it to do any high-speed sync. It would only sync for the camera's native sync speed. With the D800, I think that's 1/320th of a second, and with the Fuji X-T10, it was 1/200th of a second, something like that. So we weren't getting any high-speed sync with the old unit. Finally, after going round and round with Cactus on their support forum, we assumed that the unit must be defective. So we sent the unit back to B&H, and today I've received my brand new V6II unit from B&H as a replacement. And this one actually shipped with the latest firmware 1.1.005. So we have the latest firmware on here. Let's go ahead and fire it up, and we're going to do a factory reset, so you know that it's just like it came from the factory. We're going to hit the functions button, and go to preferences, and firmware version 1.1.005, factory reset, yes, confirm, initialize, here we go, and it's factory reset. Okay, so we're going to turn it off. We're going to put it on the D800. We're going to turn the camera on. We're going to half pressure shutter. We get the Nikon detected, so that was easy. We'll go ahead and turn these off. We're going to turn the RF60 on. It's on slave, group A, channel 1. And let's confirm. We're going to go ahead and set the camera flash setup. Wait a minute. Let's go back to radio setup. Working range short. And that ought to do it. And let's native sync speed. Okay, so that seems to be working. And now let's go to 1/500th of a second. Alright, we're not getting. Let's try this again. Okay, So that's working. And then 1/800th of a second. Okay. Now one thing that I'm noticing is the high-speed sync is working with the D800. However, one strange thing is happening, and that is that we are getting a bright band at the very bottom of the image, where the rest of the image has even exposure, but at the bottom there's a slightly brighter band that is kind of creeping in. And if we go to 1/1600th of a second, and we still see this slightly brighter band at the bottom. And that's an exposure issue that I'm going to have to correct in Photoshop or Lightroom if I'm actually making portraits that are important. So that's kind of an issue, to have this uneven exposure with the high-speed sync. Now if I go down to 1/320th of a second, and let's see, I don't. So I get an even exposure at 1/200th of a second. 1/250th of a second is even. And at 1/320, I'm starting to get a black band at the bottom. It's very minor, but you can see it switch between the two images at 1/320. So that's really strange. Now if I bump it up to 1/500th of a second, the black band goes away, and we start to get a little bit of the overexposure in that bottom area of the image. So that's very strange that we're having these types of problems. So home run for Cactus on this one, not so much. I mean, that's a real problem to have these kind of exposure issues. It makes it pretty much unusable at any kind of real, professional or it's a big problem. I don't think I need to explain why. So let's move on to the X-T10 and the problems we're having with it. Now, you saw we already did a factory reset, but I'm going to go ahead and do another factory reset, just so you know where we're starting each time from a clean slate. So, factory reset. No, yes, let's see. Yes, confirm. Initializing. Okay. There you go. Okay. So. Alright, let's go ahead and, while we're here, we'll go ahead and turn the radio setup. Okay. Working range short. Okay. Alright, let's put it back on the X-T10. Let's see what happens now. Alright. Camera. We'll half press the shutter while we turn the unit on. And we get the Fuji detected. Let's turn these off, and let's see, we are at 1/200th of a second. Let's make sure, okay. 1/200th of a second. Okay. Looks good. No problem with exposures at 1/200th of a second. Let's move up to 1/320th of a second. Okay, 1/320th of a second. You can see we're getting the black band at the bottom, and that's normal. We would expect that because the camera is not high-speed syncing. So let's go ahead and go through the procedure that Cactus Imaging has given us for initializing high-speed sync on the Fuji X-T10 camera. So to do that, we are to go into the camera and flash setup. It says camera system auto Fujifilm, so that's good. Let's move over to learn high-speed sync. It says that it's empty, so we will go ahead and select 1/1000th of a second right now, and then we'll hit the start, and we will take our shot. And of course, that flash was just showing that it did activate. It didn't actually contribute to the exposure. So now we will turn the high-speed sync on, the forced high-speed sync on, and alright, so we're not getting any kind of fire at all with forced high-speed sync on with the X-T10. So I don't know what is going on with this. This is the second unit that I've had now from Cactus that's not working with the X-T10. Other people have said that they've gotten theirs to work. Obviously I'm having problems. Maybe it's my X-T10 unit. I don't know. I don't have another one to test. You know, we'll get back on the forums. We'll try to see what else there is to do. But right now, I'm saying that the Cactus Imaging V6II is unreliable at best. Thanks. See ya.